Other parts to codes, and we're going to go through them, but right now I want to, right beside where you see classification of diseases and injuries, I want you to write down this. Category codes are 3-digit codes. Subcategory, on the right-hand side of page 5, anywhere on page 5 that you've got some room, write down category codes equal 3-digit codes. Subcategory codes equal 4-digit codes. And sub-classification codes equal 5-digit codes. Now let me tell you, you're never going to have that referred to again, but it's something that I think that if I can get you to understand, you're going to understand coding a lot better. From that, does that tell you that codes can be either 3-digit, 4-digit, or 5-digit? Yes. Well, if I've got a category code and then I have a subcategory code, does that mean that the subcategory code is more detailed than the category code? Yeah. And then if I have a sub-classification code, that might even be more detailed. Do you see how we're outlining? Mm-hmm. All right. Now take your ICD-9 book and turn back to that 001. I think we turned away from it, but turn back to the 001. Because now we're going to see how the codes actually work. We've looked at chapters, so we know they took 999 codes, they broke them down into major chapters. And those chapters were primarily done by body system, but there's some that are from other reasons, like injuries and congenital anomalies and things. Within each chapter, they broke it down into category codes. All right, so above where you wrote category codes, now write chapters equal. So chapters equal category codes, which equal subcategory codes, which equal subclassification codes. So the first chapter in the book is infectious and parasitic diseases. We know that that encompasses codes 001 to 139. Well, what is the very first category code in the book? Cholera, isn't it? Cholera. All right, but look underneath cholera, and now do you have some 4-digit codes? Well, they're subcategory codes, and they mean that cholera can be broken down into due to Vibrio cholerae, and I'm killing the pronunciation, or 0.1 due to Vibrio cholerae altor, or cholera unspecified. Now, knowing that the 3-digit code can be broken down into the 4-digit code, and that the 4-digit code is more specific, can you ever just use the 3-digit code? No, you can't. That is a big rule, and if you will remember that, you will save yourself a lot of grief. All right, then what is the second 3-digit or category code in the book? 002, typhoid and paratyphoid fevers. Well, are there subcategory codes there? Yes. Yeah. So typhoid and paratyphoid fevers can be broken down into typhoid fever, paratyphoid fever A, paratyphoid B, paratyphoid C, and paratyphoid fever unspecified. Can I ever just use the code of 002? No. I've got to take it to the furthest degree possible. All right, find for me the very first sub-classification code in the book. We know that a sub-classification code is a 5-digit code, so what's the very first one? Exactly, 003.20. Go to 003, which is other salmonella. This is pretty relevant right now with the peanut butter situation, isn't it? And then 003 can be broken down into 0.0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.8, and 0.9, but 003.2 can be broken down into 0.20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 29. All right, so can you ever just use the code 003.2? No. Can you ever just use the code 003.1? Yes. Are you clear with that? Can you ever just use the code 003.8? Can you? Yes, because there's not a subclassification code. Now, when I am writing an outline, is it my goal to start out with general headings and then break those down into more detail and more detail and more detail? That's exactly what I do in an English outline. That's exactly what was happening here.